If you want to get better at pumping and linking waves, in this video I'm going to break down some tips and tricks using Oskar Foil's 6-minute uncut video of him just linking wave after wave for 6 minutes straight. Hopefully there's something in here for everybody. Oskar himself has also been kind enough to send me a clip with one of his tips, so definitely stick around for that, or just skip straight to the end to watch his advice because he's way better than me, so hope you enjoy. Okay, so first tip. So you'll see, he's come out on a shoulder, a fat shoulder. That shoulder, when you come out of something like that, that shoulder's not gonna give you enough speed to efficiently keep pumping. So you'll see what he does is he starts pumping while he's still got some wave push to make sure that as he comes out of that wave, he's got enough speed. So that's one of the first tips. See that? So he got real fat and he pushed through. He spotted another wave. That wave was getting super fat. He's gonna ping across and catch this other little lump to keep moving. Ooh, a little breach there. Okay, now I learned this the hard way a lot. As he comes out of this wave, you'll notice, I'll play it back. You'll notice that he lets the foil settle. So you ready as he comes out? He just gives it a sec. Because if you come out of the back of a wave and just immediately start pumping, you'll notice that you'll breach. That's the most likely in my experience. Or it's just too much going on in the water underneath and it tends to feel like you're on boils or something. So you'll see he does it in another clip that I'll show you as well. So when you kick off the back of a wave to start pumping back out the back, just give the foil a second to glide, then start your pump again. And you'll begin to feel it when the time is right. And really the faster you come out, the more you should wait, because you don't want to start pumping too quickly. Okay, so what you're seeing, obviously, he's great, is he is come out the back of this wave diagonally. That's the first thing. So what you don't want to do is when you come off the back of a wave, try and shoot and aim straight away to head back out to sea. If you do that, you're going to shave off a lot of speed. You've then got to use all your energy to try and get that speed back to efficiently pump. So as you travel back out, make slow corrections so that you're on the angle that you want to be when you come up to the wave. And if we watch here, pumping, pumping, pumping. And I want to talk about his back foot in a second. So you'll see he's then coming on the angle. Now this is one of the waves that he hits the most direct on, but he's still on an angle. Like he's still coming in. I don't know how to show an angle. You still need to be slightly side on. If you try and hit a wave head on, you can do it, absolutely you can do it, and it's really satisfying if you nail it. But there's just a bigger margin for error. So when you're learning, you definitely want to start pumping so that you're on a diagonal when you come onto that wave. It's just so much easier. You can maintain that pump and that speed because you're going to lose a lot of speed in that turn if you mistime it. If you don't pick up the energy of that wave, that's when you're just going to fall off foil. And you see he does this. He even, if you look at that turn, he's pumping through that turn in the way that he's pushing through it. Watch that again. Like he's carving into that turn, which actually creates lift, and obviously he's got the wave there as well. So just absolute machine. Nice carbon lines. Okay, now, so he's come out with so much speed. That's the ideal. If you end up going out into that wider water, I know this is really obvious, but if you go through that beach break, you probably aren't getting back out. There's so much water churning up, there's air bubbles, there's all sorts going on. The foil won't feel good. You'll struggle to pump if you don't smash your foil into the sand. So choose wisely how far you'll take a wave. He clearly took it right to the end where he can get back out easily. And with that, he's gotten tons of speed. And you notice he did exactly that thing that I said. You watch, he pumps out he's letting the foil settle because he came out with so much speed. Then he goes, you can tell, you start to be able to tell, I'm going the right speed to start pumping again. Because you don't want to start pumping when you're going too fast. Now, obviously his pump, you watch this. His pump is so good. He's high on the mast. That's absolute key. You want these things to be efficient. He's nice and high on that mast. And he doesn't let it drop too far down either. So as soon as you have to use energy to try and get that board back up higher, you've lost that energy. And to be able to surf for 6 minutes, this is about avoiding little mistakes and being efficient. And the littlest error, you miss a pump, you've lost a lot of energy probably, because exponentially you have to probably exert more energy to get that fall back up and get back the speed that you lost. So once again, he's come at this wave. You can see he's almost side on already. So he's seen this wave coming and he started to come around so that he can just literally just pop onto it. He does a nice little whoop because he's got style and I don't. You gotta go watch this video. Like, whenever I tell people that I love prone surfing, I show them this video to say, like, what is it? Because people don't really know. Now, I'm not really going to talk about the arm thing because there's a fair bit of conjecture about the arms, it seems, within the foiling community. Some people think you need it, some people think you don't. But for me personally, I've literally just copied what he does, and I'll put up a clip in the next couple of days of me doing that. Now, if I'm doing that, it means my rhythm's correct, but I also just find it so much easier. Okay, like when I make a mistake, I end up only using my arms, say, front ways. But when you're doing it like this and you're doing it correctly, you're actually throwing your weight forwards, and that's what it's contributing to. I'm not entirely sure of the mechanics of that, but it seems to be that you're throwing your weight forwards by pushing your arms back, and then you're throwing your arms forward, which also throws your weight forward. So not a great explanation, but anyway. Okay, now, awesome that old mate's caught up to him, but you watch as he comes over this wave. You don't want to pump when swell line is coming underneath you. That swell line is creating a lot of lift, and it's traveling at 25 k's an hour or something. So if you try and pump as that swell line hits you, it's probably going to eject you, and you're probably going to breach. So all you need to do is just glide, and you just notice that already he just lets it glide under him, and it actually gives him quite a lot of lift, so you can just cruise over it. So it sort of helps you in a way. And can I just make mention of how cool foiling is, that you get to share waves with friends. The reason that in surfing you can't really share waves is because they're chopping up the wave, but not something you have to worry about prone foiling. So just another reason that it's now the greatest board sport in my opinion. You get to do it with your friends and nobody upsets anybody. So super cool. You notice he shimmies his foot back. In his video talking about pump foiling, which you should definitely go watch, he talks about that. So go watch that video. He explains it way better than I can. But essentially, you change your back foot placement can help your pump. So go check that out. It's really important to point out something very obvious, which is these are ideal conditions. You've got a decent 2-foot swell. That's probably a long period, so it's got plenty of push. You've got no wind, ideally a little bit of offshore wind. And with these conditions, this is when you are able to link waves like this. If it's like a northerly, or it depends where you live, but if it's choppy conditions, if you're pumping into, like as you go back out, if you're pumping into onshore wind, very difficult, very tiring. But surface conditions is one of the biggest predictors of how easy it is to surf like this. So absolutely keep that in mind. Like if you're learning and you head out and it's onshore wind and choppy and you're breaching and you feel like you can't pump your foil, that might be the reason. So when you get glassy days like this, that's the time to try and do this. So I just want to go back for a sec. You notice his back foot. You notice every pump he does, at the bottom of his pump, he pushes his toes down, so he's lifting his heel. I'm not sure what that is. It's like the last part of your pump stroke, we'll say. And I found for myself, if I'm doing that, I know I'm pumping correctly. That's like my cue, and it just feels right. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you watch his back foot, you see it. So see how he's lifting his heel? And something about that seems to be that it helps with forward momentum. It's almost that ollie mentality, like, and I can't quite, I don't really know how to explain it, but maybe Oskar can explain that better. But if you're doing that, if your heel's lifting, that's the sign that you're pumping correctly. And you'll even see Ocean Pixels, when he pops in a frame, you can watch his heel doing the exact same thing. See it? His heel's lifting up every single pump, his back foot. He's pushing down with those toes as he finishes the stroke. You can see it there clearly. Look, that's all I've got. Let's hear from the man himself.
Hey Dave, mate, it's so awesome to see what you've done with this video. It's been 11 months since I put it out. It's been a while. I'm so stoked to see that it's still helping people. This sort of stuff is the main reason I put it out there. I really struggled finding clips of guys pumping and linking waves. And you know, there's so much hype clips out there. These little short clips doing one turn cut, one turn cut. They got me hyped to go surfing and go foiling, but I couldn't learn too much from it. And I don't have too many other foilers around me that I can learn off. And so that's where I've just left this raw uncut clip and just put it out there, and yeah, just stoked to see what you're doing with it. What's my big tip? Kind of leans to what you were saying, what you said about getting your heel, or how I'd lift my heel up off the board. So what I'm actually doing there is getting up as high as I can on the mast. So you kind of touched on it there, that kind of like an ollie. You're trying to jump the foil up, and that's exactly it. A lot of guys have this idea of driving the foil down to get the pump, and that's where you get your projection and your acceleration. But as you drive it down, the foil's going faster, it's getting more lift. So then once you're at the bottom of your pump and you've got that maximum sort of lift coming from the front foil, then use that to then pop up as high as you can. And there's two things. One, yeah, you can drive that down, you're in a perfect spot for the next pump. But also the foil operates so much more efficiently up high in the water column. So you'll see guys do it. They'll be just trim along on the wave, and all of a sudden they get up high and the foil starts going faster. It's got more glide, it's more efficient, and they just go, whoa! And they usually breach and just bail off, and the foil goes flying. But that's actually where you want to be when you're pumping, up high in the water column. So it's actually water density that's your biggest killer. Water density increases exponentially. Yes, science! With water depth. So basically, more dense water, slower for the foil to operate in. So if you can get up high in the water column, I try and pump up in that top third of my mast height. And staying in that zone, it is so much easier to pump when you're down low. So that's something to think about. I learned, for me, on the pump back out, I would just try and get up higher and higher and higher and try and basically almost make the foil breach on the pump. So try and feel how high, and you'll feel it as you get into that top little zone. It's game changing. It's like, whoa, here we go. It's just effortless. Yes, effortless. God. Now, don't be under the illusion that I just stay in that zone. Like you'll see from that video, I'm dropping in and out of it all the time. So I generally cycle through, I'd say, 3 to 4 lighter taps up in that top zone. And then as I start to drop back out of it, I'll do 2, maybe 3 big, deeper pumps, get back up in it, then lighter taps again. And you sort of cycle through that. So don't think that there's guys just sitting in that perfect zone the whole way. You get moments, but it is just constantly trying to jump back up higher and get back into that zone. So that's definitely something that unlocked pumping for me. So I hope that helps someone out there. And yeah, just get out there. It's the best way to learn, is just to be in the water as much as possible. So yeah. love what you're doing, Dave. It's an awesome idea, and unfortunately I could talk about this for absolutely hours, so hope I haven't rambled on for too long.
That's all from this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed. This is a clip of me deciding to go to a different bank because the one I was on wasn't that great. So this is the sort of thing you do once you can pump. I have no style and I just want to get better. So I produce content because I know that there's been people in my position before and I just want to help out. So we all aim to get better at this epic sport. So hopefully there was something in here for everybody. And as always, have fun, guys.